So I remember reading an article from you, I believe it was in Inc. magazine, called Spending to Save, where you say many entrepreneurs start their business with the goal of conserving cash through doing everything themselves. While not burning cash for no good reason is critical to bootstrapping businesses, it can also lead you to do things you may later regret. So I was wondering if we could a bit expand on that excerpt, um, and see how you overcame mentally the feeling of I need to save money, but also I need to spend to generate new business and to scale as well.
Yeah. So one of the things that we have not had in the 8 years of our business, or 7 years of our business, is any kind of CFO. So I've been doing that along with my role. So I'm always thinking about the cash,
Right.
and it always makes me nervous. And the goal was never to take external funding, so it becomes challenging to really think about spending. So for us, the big decisions have been around things like taking on office space. So one of the reasons that people outsource is they want to take on a flexible partner who can help them expand rapidly as and when they need to. So we need to have at least enough real estate for the runway that we see in our business. Well, this is pre-COVID, obviously, and that was critical to many of our clients' buying decisions. But you don't want to take on so much space that it's sitting empty for long periods of time.
Right.
And then, actually the bigger cost than the rent is normally fitting out office space. Right. So again, it's like how many desks do I want to buy today? How many computers do I want to buy? And I think if you're going to do it from a bootstrap perspective, you have to look at different ways of approaching this. So banks don't want to lend money to small businesses, or if they do, it's tiny amounts. I mean, it's ridiculous how little my bank is willing to put into our business, even though they can see how well we're doing and how profitable we are. So we started to look at finding partners who are happy for us to do things like lease to buy. So we don't buy our computers outright. We spend a little bit more money on them, and we lease them for 24 months and then buy them, and that's a big expense for us. So our cash flow cycle, because we're a people business, is that people sign up. People might be in training for 2 to 4 weeks, and then in production for a month, and then sometimes we don't ever see our first check till about that point in time. So to pay somebody for 2 months and get them set up with desk space and all the other costs associated with launching, a new line of business, means that cash flow can be very lumpy at times like that. So we've tried to do as much as we can.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be hard, which leads me to my following question that I want to ask you about how challenging it was to build around you a team. I'm guessing in the Philippines as the outsourced company.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that I don't know if you had a network there before, or it was start kind of from scratch. But if it was from scratch, I'm guessing it was very, very challenging.
Well, it was mostly from scratch. So I'd been out there with my time with Tascas, and Jeff, our partner, had been out there with UTI. So we knew a few people. A lot of the advice we got early on is very consistent with the advice lots of other people who've gone out to the Philippines have been given by lawyers and accountants out there, and it's been completely incorrect and has been designed to funnel your hard-earned money into the pockets of people who are not really that interested in your success.
Right.
It's sadly true that there are a whole number of people in the Philippines, like in many third world countries, who just see somebody from somewhere else in the world and assume that they've got so much money that they can steal from you, that they can lie and take things and so on. And we had a bunch of that, but I think we kept as much control as we could over the finances, paying things ourselves. We have had independent auditors since the beginning that helped with that. So I think that helped us de-risk things, but really um, we brought in a few people and quickly, working alongside them, worked out that they were of the right stuff, and from there we built things on. So I think we're just coming up on the, we've been around for 6.5 years or whatever it is, and our um, we don't have anybody left from our very first class of employees, but we have somebody from the third class of employees
Mm.
who's now a very successful mid-level manager in the company. And our as we've worked with some of these people now from 6 years to 5 to 4, I get more and more confidence all the time in our operations. And then in 2017, I brought in a former colleague from my fintech days to come out and be our country manager in the Philippines, and that's been a huge help. Miguel's super helpful in making sure that we that we're on top of all those type of personnel things.